our global consumption trend is not really sustainable. Actually, this year we have already gone beyond our quota. This month, we have already crossed our quota of natural resources. Try doing that with your bank. Put your money in the bank and try to draw more than what you can deposit. We are doing it already. Whatever is our quota, by August, we have actually used up our quota and we are going beyond it. So we are using an equivalent of 1.5 Earth. We need to understand that. At the micro level, we cannot do it. At the macro level, we tend to do it because we are not seeing very clearly where the boundaries are. Dr. Mohanty showed you a slide where he pointed about how many acres are being taken to meet our lifestyle in different parts of the world. So it's not an equitable world. We need to look at it in a very close manner, and everybody can do their own bits, whether it's individual, whether it's industry, whether it's building. If you continue the same pattern, by 2030, it's only going to grow because the population is growing. People, those who are occupying today 1 acre, those who require 1 acre, would require 2 acres and 3 acres and so on. So we'll come to a point by 2030, we require 2 planets. Unfortunately, we only have 1 planet so far. And all emissions can be attributed to the way we produce, the way we provide service, and of course, to meet the need of the end consumer. So there are 2 sides to the same coin, the demand and the supply. Industries produce because people consume. So we need to look at both aspects. Today we are going to focus more on the production side. There can be other fora we can discuss about what can we adopt for our consumption pattern. And this gives you the full picture. I will not go into the details of this. You can see here how can you produce better, how can you preserve the natural capital, how can you consume more wisely. Okay? And again, it was already pointed out, equitable resource governance. The government should play a more important role as to how they can govern better so that it's a fair game, it's an equitable world, and people behave the way they're expected to do so that we can live one planet that we have today. So resource consent, when we say resource consent, we're talking about water, we're talking about energy, we're talking about land use, we're talking about materials. All these aspects go into resource. And of course, I will be covering only about water, energy, and we can extrapolate that to see in what way we can deal with land use and materials in the same manner. Today, all of us are making efforts. I'm happy to see that we have a proponent of renewable energy here, promoting renewable energy. We all talk about renewable energy, but we still depend, 80% of our energies come from fossil fuel today. We are going into an area which is going to be tough for all of us. Water scarcity. People are already feeling it in many parts of the world. The next wars are going to be fought over water. It's already happening. You can see the tension between states, the tension between countries. In this Mekong Delta, you can see how there is tension between the different countries to share the water resources. Oil is nothing but the solar energy stored through all these dead living organisms, converted to crude oil. It took us 150 million years of the sun's energy to store all that. In the last 150 years, we have depleted already 50% of it. So all the growth that you see, all the development that we see, for which we take credit, actually comes from this resource, the fossil fuels. In the last 150 years, all the development that we have seen, whether it's electricity, whether it is transportation, aviation industry, all that is dependent on fossil fuel, oil particularly. 150 years, we have dwindled half of the resources, which took 150 million years. And with the pattern of growth that is taking place, you can imagine how long it will last. We can all predict whether it's going to last 50 years or 75 years or 100 years. But all these are nothing in the scale of humanity. Think about the next generation. All the assets that we're creating, are they really assets or liabilities? On the other side, you can see water. This is a picture of China, where people have to go very far just to get water, and the quality of water is very poor. Today, 780 million people don't have access to potable water. Energy and water are intrinsically linked to each other. You can see water for energy, what is required for fuel production, ethanol, hydrogen, required for extraction and refining, is required hydropower, electricity generation requires water, thermoelectric power plants require cooling, they're mostly located near water bodies. Other side you can see energy for water, wastewater treatment you require considerable amount of energy. Use of water requires pumping. You can see many cities are pumping water from faraway places. Drinking water treatment requires, we've heard about UV, we're talking about membranes, all that require additional amount of energy. Extraction and transmission also requires energy. So water and energy are intrinsically linked to each other. When you act on one, automatically we have to either increase or reduce the other.